And we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Tuesday Live with Shishana. Woo! Welcome, Shishana. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, so bear with me for 2 seconds. I want to make sure we get everything up and going on Facebook. Keep in mind, there's like a 10-second lag time between us speaking and it showing up on Facebook. So just keep that in mind. Okay, I've got it up on Facebook. That way we
I'm
can
always
see.
live with the technical difficulties. It's like pressure's on.
Oh, we've had plenty of them. Trust me. So yeah, but so far smooth. So okay, well, cool, guys. I won't keep everyone waiting. I'm super excited today to have Shishana on our live today. She's an amazing friend, awesome agent, and someone that everyone loves. Extremely positive, always happy. I don't think I've ever seen her upset. I'm sure she does get upset sometimes, but I've never seen it.
Cup of pie.
And she's been killing it. How many transactions have you done year to date? I just looked you up on the MLS and I was like, whoa.
Oh, you tell me then. You tell me. I want to say it's 31.
I think it's more than that because according to the MLS,
34 transactions, I think, is what it's at.
Okay, yeah,
I think
it was in the mid-30 range, which
actually 35 as of today. I just closed one a few minutes ago.
So 35 transactions. That is crazy. That's so good. And you do everything essentially, for the most part, by yourself, right?
I just brought on 2 buyer's agents. So that's super exciting. But yeah, primarily before the last few months, those are my numbers. It's great. Like, when I look at my numbers, I'm like, oh, wow, this is really cool. But I'm always like so in the moment that I try not to focus on like hitting those numbers,
Oh, for sure. Right. But right. And that's the cool thing. And I think what makes certain like agents so successful, sometimes you are so focused on your clients that you're not really looking. Everything else just falls into place because you're focused on your clients.
Totally.
So at the end of the year, you'll just be like, oh my gosh, seriously? What did you do last year in terms of transactions and the year before? I just want to dig in a little deeper with that.
51 transactions last year.
Okay.
That was completely solo with my wonderful transaction coordinator. I love her. And then the year before that, I think I was at 37. Don't quote me, somewhere around there.
Okay. But I mean, that gives us a good idea. So 37, you said 50-ish.
51.
And then you're on 51. And then you're on track to hit 70-ish.
Yes.
What the heck? What do you feel like you've been doing each and every year to increase by like, what is that, 15 to 20 transactions? That's big.
It's crazy. It's so hard because I think the one thing with myself is that I don't have a method to my madness. And I'm always like, I call you all the time and I'm like, okay, so, are we doing this? Does this work? I'm always trying to figure out what everyone else is doing because a lot of my business comes from my sphere and referral base. So you can't really predict that. You don't know when your friends want to buy a house or if they want to sell their house. So the predictability is really challenging for me because I don't know how to increase it, but I feel like the more connections you make in life, the more successful you are. So the bigger your reach goes. And I don't know if that's the answer you're looking for, but I'm really trying to find a way to track and measure what I'm doing so that I can repeat it and scale it. And I haven't figured that out yet.
Dude, that's so cool though. I think you're spot on. Just in terms of as you build your base and each year you continue to serve more and more clients, that base just gets bigger over time. And so I think naturally that's what you're doing because you are doing it for the right reasons and you're just a good person that works hard, you're consistent. People are attracted to you because of your positivity and your knowledge and experience. Like for real, I think that's what's happening is you had this base when you got in, but each and every year it just continues to build. And that's why you don't even know what the hell you're doing to increase your business, but your business is increasing.
It's crazy. I feel so grateful. Like every day I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. So grateful. I never want it to end. I'm so grateful. And you know what? It's, you know, some people say you would, you know, what you put out is what you attract. I don't know if that's true. And, but I'm super grateful to be in the position that I'm in where your phone starts ringing. You know, I still do my whole prospecting and making my phone calls and follow up and all that. But like when you can answer your phone and it's somebody that says, hey, I met so-and-so and they said you're the realtor to go to, that's the best. And it happens more often every year.
But right, and that's the great thing about doing business the right way is, and I can kind of confirm, I feel like I'm older in the business, that over time, before I'd be like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but my business continues to increase and stuff. The last couple years, I feel like I can confidently say like, okay, it's a result of just working hard, being consistent, being good to people, treating them like they're your friend, and treating them in a way in which you would want to be treated, and therefore the business just continues to grow. I think that's totally what it is. Like I remember we met at Cafe Rio. That was how long was that? Maybe a year ago or so.
It feels like it's longer ago, but
yeah, I just remember you saying something like,
oh God,
you know, you wanted to grow your business or something and you weren't sure how. You like wanted to add that additional piece. And then yet a year or two later, like here you are, you've increased your business each year by like 30 to 50% without you really even knowing where that business is coming from.
It's crazy. It's so crazy. But you know, how cool is it that this can be our job where we can be ourselves and, you know, with the knowledge and of course experience, but we can do what we love and be ourselves and make money. I think that's like the most amazing part. Or one of the most amazing parts.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, definitely. And I agree. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay,
yes.
good.
Can you hear me?
I think we kind of lagged for just a second there. But yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so let's dig in a little deeper. You were saying that you still do some prospecting and so forth. Do you feel like most of your business comes from like incoming, inbound leads, referrals, clients, or do you feel what percentage of business is that, and what percentage would you say is more of your prospecting and reaching out to different types of leads, whether it be Zillow, Opcity, or anything else?
Okay, so you know, I know like doing these like live shows, everyone wants to hear like the big secrets. So I'm always the type of person to lay it all out on the table. I would say that about 75 to 80% of my business comes from referrals and past clients. And since I decided to start a team and I have 2 agents under me, I decided to dive into the paid advertising, which really works because even I already have my base of people, which continues to grow over the years, which is amazing. And that's where I want to put my focus. But I want my girls to be super busy and be able to build their base. So the online leads has been really helpful for that. You know, we all have the love-hate relationship with Zillow, but at the end of the day, when you put in a big amount, it does give you that return that you're looking for where it is fruitful. So I brought that on this year.
Okay, so when you say you brought that on, is that more for those agents that you are wanting to provide leads, or is that also for you, or kind of both?
It's turned into being for the girls. Can you hear me?
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I had to. Yeah, you're good. Okay, so kind of both, and I've kind of gone back and forth with that because I think with my business, a lot of my business is just inbound. Almost all of it's inbound, whether, like you said, referrals, past clients, online presence, whether it be social media or review sites, with very little from lead generation, whether it be Zillow, Opcity, or anything like that. But I've always thought about continuing to spend more money to create even more inbound leads, more so for the agents under myself.
Right.
But that's a cool setup.
I would
Go
say
ahead.
that social media has been like my number one, actually, like thinking about it, because not only does that attract new business, but it also keeps my friends and the people that I know engaged in what I'm doing. So then I become their like go-to for anything real estate, which I love.
Dang. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. So you feel like social media is definitely a very important component of your business.
It's huge. In fact, I'm actually selling a home and working on helping them purchase a home. We're in escrow right now. And it's from like one of my greatest friends, like growing up, junior high time, right? And everybody gets older, you know, you don't stay in contact all the time, but through Facebook, as soon as she thought about buying or selling, she calls me, you know, and it like that to me is the biggest honor ever.
Love it. So I think, and I think that's huge because I feel like, again, since I'm so old, like Justin says, that when I first got into the business, like the way I tried to stay in touch with my sphere and past clients was I would mail out a newsletter at least on a monthly basis and mail out different things to them. And that was, I think social media was around, but not really.
I don't
And
think
it's
it was like it is now.
definitely not like it is now. Well, thanks, Shishana. But now it's like you don't even need to bother with that for the most part because most of your sphere of influence, if they're truly, you know, part of your sphere, past clients, friends, like they're part of your social media in one way or another, whether it be Facebook or Instagram or some sort of interaction there. And I love it because they're able to, you know, even though you may not talk to them for a whole year or something, if you're posting at least on a, you know, on an occasional basis, they're still feeling like they know you and they're keeping up with you.
Yeah.
And if,
I was gonna say, and if you like, for me, I think that I come across as genuine because my intention is never to be like, oh, here's what I'm doing. Watch me, watch me, watch me. But because we interact with other people, and I'm so proud of like the people and what they've done and my clients and their adventure and all that, I want to broadcast that anyways, whether anybody's listening or not. So I think the key to that is really being genuine in what you're posting and not doing it for the purpose of gaining more business. I think that's huge.
oh my gosh, that's awesome. I think that, guys, I think that's a huge takeaway right there. Is you're not doing anything for any sort of reward or pat on your back or Shishana this, Shishana that. But and I think I even saw a post or two today where you're just, you know, showing your gratitude for different people, whether they be clients you're helping or people you're working with. And I think that goes a long way. The more we spread our love and that we care and gratitude for other people, like it naturally comes back, even though that's not necessarily what you're looking for. Naturally, people are attracted to you because you're putting that out into the world and you're showing people essentially that you just care for them. But dang, that's huge. And it's funny, like I feel like some of these things we're talking about, like I think you were saying some people are always looking for like those tricks to why you're so successful. And the reality is there really are no tricks, you know?
And if there were, I would lay it all out on the table. I do get like, I got, my home inspector came up to me and was like, hey, so-and-so, this agent and that agent wanted me to ask you at our next home inspection, like, where are you getting these listings from? Or where are you getting this from? I'm like, well, if you read my Facebook post, it says like, I went to high school with this person, or this is my neighbor's sister, or, it's like there's no real secrets in there. You either have a really large marketing budget, or you find something that you're really, really good at and you're passionate about, and you attract the right clients. That's my take on it.
That is exactly how it is. I love that, Shishana. So very cool. Thank you for sharing that. As you continue to grow, what's the next step for you? I know obviously you're growing your team little by little. What's your next step?
Okay, so let's see. My next step. Okay, so I'm the type of person, I hate change. Like, I don't like change at all, which is so funny because I'm like anti-change because I love my life that I never want to like change anything. Does that make sense? It's like this weird thing that I have. Anyways, so I really, really need to accept the fact that I am growing and that it's going to take a little bit more of a support system so that I can actually take care of the people that I want to be able to take care of and do more of what I love, which is interacting with people. So I really need to bring on an assistant. And I've been talking about that for the last 2 years.
You do?
Yes. And I think that's something that I really need to do. And once I do that, I'll be able to explore different avenues and have more time to be the creative agent that I want to be. So it's a little move, but it's a big move for me.
Yeah. I think the way you're doing it is the right way. You're continuing to grow each year, and it's naturally you need to, especially if you want to continue to grow. But not only if you want to continue to grow, even if you want to stay similar in terms of production, to have more freedom within your life, you need to have an assistant, someone that could really help you with a lot of the day-to-day smaller things that anyone could really help you with. And by doing that, you're going to leverage your time to where, hopefully you can spend more time with your loved ones, with your family, with your friends, or with whoever. And so, I know I've preached this to you before, but yeah, I think you definitely need to get an assistant for sure. And naturally, just like your business has naturally been growing organically these last few years, it will continue to grow even more the next coming years once you bring on an assistant that is able to help you on a day-to-day basis. And basically is just Shishana number 2. People won't even know they're talking to you or your assistant, because hopefully you bring on someone, and I know you will, you'll bring on someone that is able to communicate and understand who you are, your culture, the way you communicate. That's what you need. Because people do love you, hands down. I know that. I've never met anyone in the industry that doesn't love you. So
I hope there's nobody out there.
There's probably a few. I think we all have a few, but I haven't come across any yet. But I think naturally that's where you're going, and that's exciting. So, well, cool, Shishana. Where are we at? Let's jump into the market a little bit.
Okay.
Before I jump into some of the stats that I pulled, how's the market from the way you see it?
It's crazy. It's so crazy. So like for sellers, amazing. I listed 2 hot homes on, I think it was Friday, and we allowed showings on Friday and Saturday, and then we had to shut it down because it was so busy. And I was trying to follow all the rules and have everybody in time slots and get everyone in and out, safety protocol, and we had, I don't even know how many showings. You have to check my Facebook thing I did, but there was like 21 offers on one, 16 on the other. And that was just in 2 days. So it's insane. The hard part is that for buyers that need the closing costs, that don't have, the reserves for the appraisal difference, that, it's a little bit more challenging to get your offer accepted. So you got to get a little creative.
Ooh, that brings up a great point, because I think a lot of the viewers that we have on here tend to be agents, just because,
Yeah.
of course, agents love to see what other agents are doing. And of course, I want to provide some sort of value to other agents. What are there any tricks, or I guess you could say tips or tricks to having a better shot at getting your offer accepted?
I just learned one this weekend. Okay. So, and this may not be true for everybody, but I just started using Showing Time, which I love. I recommend that everybody uses it. But as the listing agent, and as a listing agent that loves everybody, I realized how much less and less attached you got to people's stories. Like usually when people schedule a show, like a showing, you get a little bit of information about their client, you do a little chit chat, you get to know the agent. But with Showing Time, it's cut and dry, what time, yes or no. So with all of those showings requests, I realized like, oh, I don't, it doesn't matter who comes in. I don't know anything about their client, all good, black and white. So what I realized, I'm like, okay, we're going to get a lot of offers. If I were a buyer's agent, I would make sure that I called to connect with the listing agent, because I'm just a number in Showing Time. Doesn't matter who it is. So call the agent, start the connection, guilt them into accepting your offer. I mean, obviously you have to have the strongest offer, but I think the connection starts with the listing agent and explaining which clients are yours and how important this home is to them. I feel like that is very helpful. I always do a beautiful letter with a photo. I take out the home warranty. I shorten all the time frames. If we can remove the appraisal contingency and it makes sense, we do that. If we're not able to do that, then it's a matter of proving to the listing agent how hard you're going to work to get your buyer's offer accepted. Those are my tricks.
Good tips. Good tips. Okay, yeah, that was a lot. You went kind of fast through them, but that's, I mean, truly genius. Like I always find it interesting when I receive an offer in my inbox and it's like so basic, and they don't message me, they don't call me or anything. I'm like, okay, that's kind of a red flag. Like, are they really serious? Are they really motivated? Is the agent really on top of it? All those little things, they might seem like little things, but they're so important to show motivation. A cover letter with a photo, following up with the agent, giving them a little bit of background, messaging them to make sure they receive the offer, like having that cover letter, tightening the contingency periods, like all those little things definitely add up. I know when I have someone that's following up with me and doing all those things, of course, I'm more likely to push that offer over another one, because I know they're on top of their stuff and they know what they're doing, right?
Because you only want to open escrow once, and if someone has the drive to convince you that this is the best offer and here's why, and it actually is one of the highest offers, you're more than likely to go with the person that's going to make sure the deal gets done versus the one that just submits the offer and forgets their proof of funds or doesn't provide a pre-approval.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's so important to make sure. One other thing you mentioned was, in this crazy market, and this is just for the general public, but appraisals that contingency is being removed quite often from what I'm seeing. And that is just crazy to see. I've seen offers up at 540, 550 on a property listed at just above 500. We're talking like 5 to 10% over list price on some of these. We're just in a crazy market right now.
It is crazy. And I just saw that ask Shishana what a perfect offer on Wood Creek looks like. Like, oh man, because they have an offer out. And for that one, honestly, I presented all the offers the best I could, and I told my clients, this is gonna be your decision. Like we have the exact same offers. So hard.
That is so hard, right? because as much
Yes.
as like you could probably see at least a few of those offers and be like, oh my gosh, they seem like the greatest family for this property. Oh, they do too. They do too. So it's like, on top of that, then you have these agents that you probably have great relationships with. And especially when it's a situation where you have 10 plus offers, you're like, oh my gosh, that makes it really difficult for sure.
That's why this time with 9 exactly the same, like highest and best, you guys are going to have to decide. My clients, it's so hard.
Oh man. Okay, so I'm gonna spit out just a couple of the stats real quick. So uh-oh.
Did we lose you?
Okay. Sorry, a call keeps coming through my computer. Can you hear me?
You're so popular.
Shoot. Anyway, we have to turn that off. Okay, so a couple stats that I want to throw out. So currently, the sales volume for June is up. Actually, not as much as I thought it was. It's up about 10% year over year compared to last year. Inventory has increased. It's increased, but I think it was about 30% lower than we were last year for the same month. One area where I saw a 20% increase in sales was Menifee, but then in Temecula and Murrieta, we're up like 5 to 10% in sales. So it looks like what we're seeing is just, unfortunately, there's not quite as many homes up for sale this year compared to last. Mm-hmm. And everyone obviously is just fighting for the little bit of inventory that's out there.
Like Hunger Games.
It is.
Really, yeah.
What do you think? One of the things I was thinking about is we used to have more new build in Murrieta Temecula, and I feel like we don't have quite as much new build. So therefore, the inventory is definitely less than last year and the year before. Do you think that's a big component, or do you think I'm missing something?
I think it could be. We have that new community, Somers Bend, coming up, and that's been delayed just a little bit. But we have that whole huge community coming up. So maybe that will really help. I think the downturn for a lot of people that, as far as affordability goes, they're looking, with new construction comes high taxes and oftentimes large HOAs. So when you get a home that needs a little bit of cosmetic repairs or cosmetic things, but it has the lowest taxes and a small HOA, people fight over those homes. So, and then Spencer's Crossing was a huge help when that first came out. And they're kind of slowing down, but they still have new builds in there that actually I've been sending a lot of my clients over there that are VA that need their closing costs covered. We've been doing new construction homes because there's no bidding wars and the lots on some of them are still decent. So that's been a kind of a nice little avenue to be able to send them to.
Nice. And what is that communities? Which communities were you saying?
So that one, the one that I really like, who is it? It's Polte Homes. They opened up a community called Aspen. Everybody's going to go there now.
Be careful what you say.
2%. It still has the HOA, but you get all the Spencer's Crossing amenities. But the price is like $450, $460. So not bad.
Got it.
With bigger lots.
And is that Murrieta Schools or is that the Menifee?
Don't quote me. I'll have to double check. I want to know it's Menifee.
Okay, don't worry.
No, you're right. It's Menifee. But with everything that's going on in the schooling, that's a whole nother show. We could talk about like if school is going to continue the way it's going to, or if, maybe it won't be so important to be in a community that's specific to Murrieta School District because kids are going to be homeschooled.
That's so true. Oh my gosh, that is so true. You think about that. It's like all of a sudden now we're going to start seeing competition of really who's able to adapt to provide the best schooling, whether it be online or something. But yeah, you're right. Boundaries are no longer going to be as important as they were. And that's true.
Right.
That's a big topic.
Yeah, and then funding for the schools, like maybe there'll be more, and this is just one of my crazy ideas, but maybe the schools will be more open to taking people that are in Menifee schools and Marietta schools, so that way they can get more funding because there's not enough students. I don't know. This is just stuff I think about.
Oh yeah, no, it is true. And because I think we definitely know, I'm sure you experience this too. You get those clients, they're like, oh, I want to be in South Temecula because I want my kids to go to Great Oak.
Oh yeah.
Or I want to be West Marietta because the schools are highly rated. Like you get those type of clients all the time, especially when they're doing their research from LA County or San Diego County, Orange County, and so forth. They're coming to that area because of the schools. And so that's an important dynamic that's totally changing right now.
Totally. We don't know where it's going to go. So it's kind of, it's kind of interesting. Maybe Menifee schools won't be, the second to Marietta. Who knows?
Totally. Okay. So we're already at 30 minutes. You see how that flew?
Time flies.
Totally. No, I'm sure we could talk for an hour easy. To finish it off though, let's say, Shishana, I know I'm going to try to make this a not tough question, but something that hopefully people could benefit from. If Shishana was to all of a sudden move to a different market, let's say she goes to Houston, Texas, and she starts as an agent there, what are you going to do to build your business in Houston as a new agent?
What would I do to build my new business in Houston?
As a real estate agent, what would be the things you would start focusing on as a new agent, I guess? This is more of a question, especially for those that are new in the business or thinking about getting in real estate. What would Shishana do if she were to jump in?
Okay, that's a good question. So it's funny because people tease me because I have a CrossFit gym. I'm clearly don't have the CrossFit body. I'm in it for the friendships, and I've helped a lot of people buy homes, at CrossFit. Same with jujitsu. I did jujitsu for like 6 months. I was awful at it, but I've helped a lot of people at jujitsu buy houses. So first, what I would do is I would become part of the community without the intention of getting clients. It would just be to meet people and to share their experiences, get to know the area. So I would join as many groups as I could to find friends. And then I would post all over social media all day long until I got clients, until I built the trust in that new community. That's what I would do.
Love it. Okay. Good one. I love that answer because basically it's a matter of really just starting to get to know people, start building that network, that's essentially what you're doing now, but you just kind of starting from ground zero. You would start establishing relationships within hobbies or things that you like to do and connect with people in those ways. And then you'll obviously just continue to build, get to know more people, and obviously your business will just follow. So I love it. That's a great answer. Don't feel like there was a right or wrong answer. I think that was an amazing answer, and I love it. So, all right. Well, cool. Thank you so much for jumping on with me today, Shishana. The time flew by. I know you're amazing. You're great at what you do, and that's why your business has continued to flourish, and you just continue to help more and more people. So thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate everything.
Yeah, I love hanging out with you anytime. Next time, food though. Let's eat.
Heck yeah. We're going to Tijuana on Friday.
Oh, wow. Bring me back some tacos. I have to work.
All right. Well, awesome. Thanks for jumping on, guys. And everyone, we appreciate you jumping on. Feel free to message myself, message Shishana. She's the type of person that is always willing to help. So feel free to reach out to her or myself. And we'll see you next week. Thanks again, Shishana.
Bye. Thank you.